Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the program. And of course, inshallah, right now we turn our attention towards the African continent and what's happening on the African continent. Now, exactly a week from today, inshallah, Kenya, which is the economic powerhouse of East Africa, they will go to the polls to vote in a new president, members of parliament, and the Senate. Now, politics in Kenya can be a matter of life and death, as seen in the 2007 elections. After violence broke out, 1,000 people were killed in clashes that were mostly along tribal lines. Now, Kenyans, even though there are problems with what happens after elections, they love to participate in elections. In the 2013 election, 86% of registered voters turned out. That's a very big turnout. In the 2017 election, it was 78% of registered voters that turned out to vote. Now, who are the runners and what are the issues going into one of the most important elections in Kenya's history after independence? Joining me now is Alhaji Hassan Ole Nadu, Deputy Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims. Alhaji, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brother, thank you for having me, but may I correct you a little bit?
Please.
I'm no longer the Deputy Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims, but indeed the National Chairman. So I'm the President of the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims.
Oh, Manesh, please forgive me.
Yeah, no
Inshallah, I will.
problem.
Yes.
Understood.
Alhaji, thank you. Thank you. However, you do agree with me that Kenyans love to participate in elections. 83% that were there, 86% in 2017, 2013, 2017, 78%. What is the secret behind Kenyans who are not like the rest of the continent, particularly in South Africa? South Africa, we have, election turnout of 50, 53, 54, 60%, if we are lucky. But why are Kenyans so interested in politics?
Brother, thank you very much again for having me this evening. And I'm sorry because we had some confusion. I was following the Kenyan time only to realize that the program was coming in in South African time, which is 1 hour behind the hour in Nairobi. No. Interestingly, our democracy, our young democracy, was actually established on a foundation of ethnicity. It is built on a foundation of tribal kings, in quotes, people who mobilize along the ethnic kind of persuasion to have the larger turnout of voters. We have a structure where most of those, the front runners actually mobilize their voting constituency using the ethnic communities they represent, and that actually increases the further turnout. We have about 47 tribes in Kenya, and in the 47 spread along the 8 regions, and in those regions we have the kingpins in politics there. In every political time, every region comes up with its own kingpin, and that kingpin mobilizes his region, his community, to ensure that they get the maximum votes, and that is how we normally end up having quite a good voter turnout. This year, the first time in the history of the Republic of Kenya, is that we have a president who is actually retiring from whose term is ending, but the president have a candidate. We have never had a scenario where the president have a candidate. We also have in this election a deputy president who is running against the candidate of the president. So the office of the president, or the presidency as they call it, is actually divided, because the president has a candidate, and on the other hand, his deputy is a candidate. So we have a very competitive political environment in the country. We are hopeful that it's going to be peaceful. What we celebrate as Kenyans today is that, unlike before, we have not seen any signs of possible conflicts in the country. We have seen Kenyans going on with their daily activities. We have seen businesses doing their work, and we have actually not even seen a kind of a huge mobilization along the ethnic lines. For the first time again in the history, the political class are discussing some few issues. They may not be very attractive, but at least there is a conversation around the economy of the country. There is also a conversation for the first time about the integrity of those who are fighting for the offices. So I think we are somehow growing or maturing in democracy in a way. We are making good baby steps. Come next Tuesday, we are prayerful that this country will remain peaceful, will remain united, and of course, they will decide who they want to be their next chief executive officer of the country. Thank you, my brother.
Mm. Mm. Now, I really want to ask you, Alhaji, about the youth vote. Kenya is one of the youngest countries in the world. If I'm not mistaken, a very large percentage of the population is under the age of 35. They say 40% of registered voters are young voters. What is the plan to get the youth to, vote or to participate? What strategies and tactics are politicians using to harness the vote, that very big voting block?
Yeah, I think actually Kenyan, as you are rightly putting it, is that it's a young country with a huge youthful population. But what
Right.
is interesting, we have 6 million young people who are not registered during these elections. They
Mm,
refuse to be registered. Let me say so, because they are registered, but they did not register as the voters, and that is actually a very scaring number because. We have been asking ourselves what could be informing this position, this decision by young people not to register as voters. What is informing? And we realize that there is an element of further apathy because many young people are disillusioned. They have the issues that are affecting them: lack of job opportunities,
mm,
the economy that is not doing well,
mm,
the high level of education which the many young people have gone through are not being able to get the jobs. There is no jobs in the country, and yet the
mm,
politicians are coming in making the same promises they have always been making, and we never see those promises actually being fruitful. So this is one of the things we are afraid is creating some sort of further apathy, and we are even afraid that the youthful population may be very few in terms of during the
mm,
electioneering period.
mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Alhaji, in my introduction, I mentioned that in 2007 there was, post-electoral violence. Given what you've explained about the highly tribal nature of politics in Kenya, do you think that enough has been done to ensure that this does not happen again?
Alhamdulillah. We have Kenyans are very creative, just to be honest with you, and I am
Hmm.
proud that we are. Because in Kenya, during
MashaAllah.
after the post-election violence in 2007, 2008, you know what happened? We ended up actually having a new constitution, and then we have the recommendations that were made, like what the South African judge, retired judge Kriegler made in terms of the electioneering processes. We also had the commissions that were proposed as a way of addressing those issues. One of such commissions is the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. The National
Hmm.
Cohesion and Integration Commission is one commission that is trying to address concerns of Kenyans, is trying to address the issues that Kenyans speak about. They are also trying to bring some sort of discipline in their political discourse by ensuring that we speak to one another, but not really against one another. We use good terms against, when we talk to about one another, instead of actually using coded language that may actually sometimes lead into ethnic violence. We have the religious sector, which is alhamdulillah very very active. We are there, the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims. We have the National Council of Churches of Kenya. We have the Kenya Episcopal Conference of the Catholic Church, and the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya. All these groups are working under a formation called the Interreligious Council of Kenya. Under the Interreligious
Mm,
Council or the Interfaith Council, we really work together to ensure that we tone down the negative voices, the ethnic voices that are there in the country as
right.
religious leaders. Because the good thing about the faith is that every other community has a member within the faith community. Because Kenya, again, alhamdulillah, is over 80% is a religious society. So largely, we are a very religious society because
Mm,
that is the foundation of our nation. So it is something that we pride ourselves with, and we thank Allah that the religious leaders have been able to come together all the time to address the concerns of the Kenyan people and also put their voices and guide the Kenyans on how when they need to live peacefully. Remember, as the faith leaders, we do missionary work. And there is nothing, you cannot do dawah if there is no peace. So what we require most as religious people, we require peace than any other person, because it's only through the peaceful environment that we are able to spread the religion. Jazakallah khair.
Barakallahu fik. Um, Alhaji, you did mention those two candidates that seem to be the front runners, and you explained to us the intricacy about which one is being supported by the president. He has his own candidate and so on. William Ruto, Raila Odinga. Who do you think has what it takes to capture the imagination of Kenyan voters and eventually to win the presidential?
Unfortunately, my brother, I won't answer you.
Oh,
I won't.
I
I won't
know, I
answer
know
you.
why.
I won't answer you because as a religious leader,
That's
we are
right.
actually under firm guidance that we should not take positions. We should
Mm,
not advocate for a partisan position, because that one will actually means we are going to create conflict even within the religious sector. So as leaders,
subhanallah.
what we just do, we guide, we tell people their responsibility.
Mm,
Their responsibility is to elect leaders they believe in, people they believe they can actually be fair. Just on matters of humanity, they are going to provide what they are promising. They have, they are credible people whom we can trust. Those are the few things we tell Muslims, for example, to look at
mhm.
when they are looking at the leaders. But the decisions of who that leader is, we leave it to them.
MashaAllah. Alaji, I think that is I think on that note, we'll have to leave the discussion there. Jazakallah khair. We are definitely going to be watching the developments come next week, this time on the 9th. It's a public holiday in South Africa also. It's Women's
Oh,
Day.
mashallah.
But yeah, but Kenya is
Yeah,
voting on Women's Day, so we'll be watching very closely, and maybe
inshallah.
we might call you back and just to give us some analysis. But thank you very much, Alhaji.
Inshallah. Barakallahu feek. Masana.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhaji Hassan Ole Nadu, President of the Supreme Council of Kenya, talking to us there about the elections that are coming in exactly 1 week's time, and painting a picture for what Kenyans actually are looking forward to on the ground. Of course, he spoke about William Ruto, he spoke about Raila Odinga, he spoke about the current incumbent, Uhuru Kenyatta, who has served this term in office and it will be, stepping down. And it just remains to be seen if the new leader of Kenya is going to capture the imagination of voters come 9th of August next week. And that was our Africa section. Jazakallah khair for tuning in. Remember, you can also catch these interviews and these discussions on our YouTube channel. And of course, if you're watching live, obviously through our streaming channels. But we also do welcome your comments and your suggestions and your feedback. The WhatsApp line that you could actually use is 061760355. That's 06176060355. We're going to take a short break, inshallah. When we come back, we want to look at what Islamic finance, but not just Islamic finance purely for the sake of finance. We want to look at how is it possible to encourage those Muslim-owned businesses to continue functioning, so that the next generation would be able to inherit the business, or will be able to carry the business on. I'm looking forward to that discussion with Brother Ahmed Sidat. He is the director there at Vector Consulting. You may have seen him on Salam Media before. But of course, I'm looking forward to that discussion. I'm looking forward to the schooling that will be taking place there, and inshallah, I'm sure you are too. So please do tune in. We'll be speaking to him in a few minutes from now. Stay tuned.